All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Hey guys and gals, this is Last Frontier Garage, and we are continuing to work on the 84 Corvette. These are the Rochester throttle bodies that basically comprise the Crossfire injection system. This injector, this is basically, whoops, I'd already loosened that, sorry guys. This injector faces the front, and this feeds the driver's side cylinder head. This one feeds the other side. And my dad and I just found an intake that really helps this thing breathe better, but it's like $600. So we'll see if we can get it running better. Another thing we found off camera, this is the Egr valve. And what I talked a little bit about this on the Ford Expedition tune-up episode. And what I actually think is happening on this Corvette is that this Egr valve is sticking open a little bit. When they get old and carbon built up, when they operate, what they do is vacuum is applied, it pulls the pintle up, but then if it doesn't seal properly, which I think this is actually our main problem, guys. And up here in Alaska, we don't have any emission program anymore because our air has been cleaned up. So I'm going to get a Egr block-off plate and just get rid of that whole issue. So I think that's our actual fix, but we're also going to clean everything up. Probably going to end up replacing the fuel, the O2 sensor as well. If it idles okay, we won't worry about the idle air control things, but we are going to take those off. And I think what I'm going to do, so I don't twist up this linkage, I'm probably going to keep this middle fuel line on. That way it doesn't I don't want to get it, that linkage too cattywampus. So anyways, and I don't really like the lighting on this because maybe it's a yellow towel, but I can't wait, guys, where I can be a little bit better what do you call it, quality for you guys or whoever ever watches this. So I've got a magnet tray of known parts and whatever. This can just go off to the side. And what this is a solenoid that basically the computer's allowing vacuum to come through. Basically, when it's warming up, it doesn't allow the Egr to work or something like that, or maybe when it's too hot. I don't know. Or certainly not when it's too hot, because that's the whole point of it. So this is a unique system as well. Now, if y'all saw this the last time, I need to look at which one is which, because front unit, rear unit. So what this is, guys, is this would be a pressure regulator in any other system, but because these work in concert off the same fuel pressure, there's what's called a accumulator. Oops, be real careful of our parts thing. You have an accumulator and a regulator. So you can see this one is the actual regulator. This one, I guess, would be the accumulator. I'm thinking it just maintains the pressure. So we're going to be very careful taking them apart. I'll probably do those one at a time, but I think what we're first going to do is, in fact, so what I was going to show you guys is this. Apparently this is a seal right here. Yeah. Now this may or may not have been leaking, but this gasket right here where this thing is plugged into, I guarantee that does not look like it was sealing very well. But it could have been. But who knows? I think there's a lot of different little issues going on with this thing. Let's do this first. We're going to take apart. So what I did is I marked, because they look very similar. I marked, in fact, this one I know goes in the rear because of that hole. I don't need to mark those. I don't need to mark these actual things. These are already marked, so we're good to go. We can take apart. What I'm ensuring against, guys, is you don't want to create another issue. While you're working on something, you don't want to like forget and then have to spend valuable time. You know, you want to basically diagnose, do maintenance or repair, and not have to figure out, oh, well, what did I do with that thing or whatever. So let's take a look, guys. Let me see if y'all can see this. Let me try to. All right, so this is the rear. It's hard for me to say. So this is the rear one. We're gonna take this off and see what the rubber diaphragm looks like. Alright. Actually a good sign. The spring still has tension. I was working on a buddy's vehicle. Whoops. And finally took apart his fuel pressure regulator and the whole spring was just toasted. Alright, so this goes like that. I don't know what that is, guys. It's some sort of a adjuster. I probably shouldn't have turned that, but so that apparently turns, so that's allowing a certain amount of vacuum. Oh, that's ruptured, guys. Alright, once I get all this figured out and put it back together, this thing's gonna run so much better. Alright, let's do this. Trying to keep all this stuff together. Let me use another valuable tool. Is a magnet tray. Sorry, guys. Alright, this I don't really need yet. This is like a really generic schematic, so we're gonna leave that there. I'm excited to do this. This has been needing this for a while, this car. And I did tell Dad that I wanted it, basically. I wanted it back. So we'll see what happens there with whatever price we agree on. So this thing right here basically sits there. Oh, I can't for the life of me figure out what that is, guys, because that is... I gotta figure out if that's airproof. So, it does push air through. So, this has something to do with how this thing runs. And I probably shouldn't have spun it, because I really did. I just spun it away. But that's basically allowing vacuum to pull on this diaphragm, therefore adjusting fuel pressure, I assume. So, let's take a look, guys. Alright, so this thing looks like trash. It looks like the diaphragm itself has a big old crack right there, but there's alright. Anyways, guys, this is guaranteed gonna be 100% better. See if I can pop these gaskets off real quick. Next door, the kids are, my son and the kids next door are having fun. It's now summertime. Kids are out of school. It's kind of crazy. They just keep going by, you know, these summers and these winters and all that. Alright. With that off, I'm kind of just basically this is considered disassembly in a way, so sorry if I'm not doing a great job showing you what I'm doing, but alright, I got that one off. So there's a part. I just need to clean it, figure out this dial thing, and then put it back together. So let's take this. Look at this next one here. If y'all wanted to see the, I don't know why I didn't do this. So it looks like it's bulging right there, possibly leaking through right there. So it just makes for a poor. Basically, the fuel pressure isn't consistent, and you're never going to get a good idle quality out of something like that. So now this is the front one. So this should actually be the main fuel pressure regulator. And I don't know the exact how it works, but it basically uses spring pressure to allow the amount of fuel in that it wants. I should have checked the fuel pressure on this. Basically, you know, while it was running, maybe at the end of it, or maybe right here, because there's so much going on. Like I said the other day, I should have tested it at the TBI, in the middle, and at the end, and see if it was consistent. So, we're not expecting to get this thing running like it was brand new, but at least if it's not, I mean, it was running like a dog. So, like I said, this is why it was running so bad, I believe. But we shall see, guys. Oops. All right. This one looks a lot better. So this is just a plunger. That's just a spring housing. Now this one looks a lot better, but that is so funky that's all it is. Seems like it's missing something. I guess this one, I think the front is the accumulator. That's right. The front is the accumulator. I think it just keeps the fuel pressure up to send it to this one, and then the regulator is able to actually control the actual flow. So I already forgot how this was, but I think this was like this. Cool. The spring. Yep. That's exactly how that was. And of course the gasket already flipped off. It's kind of fun, guys. Let me find my razor before I slice me hand up. There it is. Yes, of course it's on the magnet tray. Alright. These are all coming off pretty decently. Obviously you can scratch. This is just aluminum, so. In fact, yeah, I think it's aluminum. Alright. So those are apart, ready for cleaning and reassembly. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper. Here, let's put these with this guy here. Whoops. We'll keep all these together. That way it's not quite as confusing. Alright, I hope everybody's having a great day. If you're watching this, whatever year it is, hey man, hope all's good. Hope the robots aren't getting us too bad. Now the injectors seem to spray. If I do all this and I still have an issue with that spray pattern, I might look at these injectors, but I'm thinking they're going to be just fine. You know, you never know, but running some cleaner through it, we'll find out. That's sometimes what you got to do as a mechanic. You basically do what you know what to do and then start over again and figure out, okay, with all of that out of the picture, what's still going on. Let's do this, guys. Let's take off these idle air control motors first. These are the big dogs right here. can't remember if I had the right size out before. Beautiful evening out. All right, let me. I just saw my neighbor ask me something. All right. Let's see here. I almost don't want to take these out, but I do want to see what's going on. Stuff like this you want to be really careful with, because you have to use a huge wrench, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the part can take the abuse, you know what I'm saying? So, alright, this is coming apart pretty good. I probably should just do a crescent wrench here. While we have this off, we're going to take the intake plate off, and I'll get that off later. This one just fell off. I was hoping this one would just kind of pop off. Just kind of keeping going here. Well, there we go. It doesn't look that dirty, but I did just clean it before I took it apart. Not that that means I did anything, it was just spraying stuff, but alright, let's grab a crescent wrench. Crescent wrench. Alright. This one obviously is going to be a little bit easier to get out. So this is idle air. Ooh, I'm having to flex that. Let me do this. The idle air control motor, and basically electrically controls the amount of air flowing into the throttle body, therefore adjusting the basically it's used to adjust the idle. So oops, hoping I'm not just steadily stripping it. Doesn't feel very good, but so in this case, let's do a little teeny squirt of I'm not trying to do anything but just lubricate it. At the same time, I don't want to put anything too nasty in there, it's not going to necessarily get cleaned out very easily. So, and those of you who are out there mechanicking, you know this is kind of how it goes, you know? Figure it out. Here comes Chase. Hey, buddy. What's going on, buddy? Cool. I'm just doing a video. Don't worry about it, though. You come on in and do whatever you want. I'm just looking at this thing.
What?
This is recording, but no worries. Do whatever you do. No, not a big deal at all. Come on in. Do whatever you want to do. All right. You okay, buddy? Chase.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Of course, he thought he was bothering me, which he for sure wasn't. I was just letting him know. You know, some people get embarrassed when they suddenly know they're on TV. Just kidding, guys. So these things look decent, but I think I have new gaskets. So at least they're not too carbon built up. So we'll show you here in a second. And I didn't mark these already. Because these are something, you know, the computer might know something. Well, I don't know. I think it's called block learn, something else. It's not, the newer stuff is called short-term, long-term fuel trim. And what that is the computer learning how the engine runs and adjusting the fuel mixture accordingly. But these are an older style. They still have some sort of a memory, but they're not quite as advanced. So these are our idle air control valves. IAC motors, I guess you want to call them. What they do is they're electrically, there we go. Electrically, this little plunger gets controlled in or out to determine how much air it's allowing to leak through and therefore affect the idle speed. So what I'm going to do actually on this tray here, here we go. Let me get some of that mass airflow cleaner. I love this stuff. This stuff is so good. It's very sensitive, but also very good. So just gonna kind of spray it. Oh yeah, that one's nice and filthy. Y'all see that? Huh. Something else kind of fell out, looks like. Oh yeah, these are actually kind of dirty. So this one is for sure. Which I need to get a towel. I'm supposed to be doing this in the other tub that I have. It's mainly going to be a parts tray. All right. Let's see my nice clean shop rag here. Let me do this. All right. All right. So we'll clean these some more later, but I think they're definitely going to work a little bit better, for sure. Yeah, I'll clean these up a little bit later. So let's put these right here. These right here, I'm just going to do this. IACs, IACs. Keep everything together. We'll change this up here. Okay. Now, guys, to be honest, I don't want to do much else, but unfortunately, this one I disconnected that, so I'm gonna have to replace that. So, which is gonna require me to take off this middle line. So let's do this. I love the sound of those birds, you know it? Can y'all hear those birds? Absolutely beautiful, God's creation. Okay, so just because we're already here, we're gonna split these and sorry guys, I need to be okay. So let's just change that gasket as well. All right. Well, cool. So before I do that, let's I don't want to have to turn those in there. You know what? Just in case there's some sort of a of a leak here. So what I was debating, guys, if I wanted to do this or not. This one I have to change because it's so let's take this off and see if I can peel it out of there. It's gonna be a 5/8 and a 3/4, I think, unless it's 13/16. Okay, 3/4 and a 5/8. Ooh, this hasn't been apart in a while. So the best method, remember, is the shock method. You want to be able to shock the whole unit. I probably should have done this on the car, because now I'm not only fighting the. In fact, let me try this first. Okay. All good. She did what I needed to do. All right. So now this one, as you can see, maybe you can see. Whoops. Okay, I think this is all good. We're not doing too much here. I'm all wigged out about the, I think it's just this thing. I think if you change this, y'all see that? Yeah, this right here sets the adjustment for the independent idle or throttle position or whatever. Okay, let's do this. Alright. This is probably something we're going to put back on the car, maybe. Because that. You want to basically make sure you got a good seal and then put the pipe on, because the pipe could be cattywampus. Slightly cattywampus. Alright guys, I don't remember having any fuel leaks, so I'm not going to worry about these fittings unless I need them to come out for me to actually lift this out, which I do. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Let's see here. Let's just take this off, guys. All it is another E-clip, so. Alright. Alright, that's a cool little hind joint, I think is what it's called. There's that. This one I'll put in the middle here. Let's see if this would give. Well, guys, what happened is I loosened this, so therefore I have to change this gasket. So, I need to get I might have to put this in the vise. I don't want to put it in the vise, though, because it's so delicate. I just don't want to. No. So, of course, the duh moment. Let's put these back in. Alright, now we can at least. So, let me try this again, and I'll just. It's all about the quick strike. Alright, now these I'm going to make 100% sure I have correct, because although that would be a different size, but so those gaskets I'm going to have to watch out for, which I'm sure. Talking about the fuel inlets here. Okay, this I'm going to be very careful with not disturbing, because In fact, I need to just go ahead and mark those. So we got, let's do this. I love this little pen. Inlet. We'll go front, middle, let's put an M, keep it real simple, I guess, right? This is the rear middle, and this one would be the outlet. Cool. So we have our throttle body basically completely apart, and what I'm going to do is let's put this one right here. I need another magnet tray or do something different here. Alright, let me find a little box, a little box for it. A little bit of a box. Let me get a little bit of a box. There we go. Alright. Because this is filthy. So that's that. Let's do this real quick. Want to be careful by just turning it over because you don't want to damage the injector thing. So let's see if I can. It likes to give. All right, that's a perfected thing there. All right, let's just put this one right here for the sake of. It's just too dirty. Well, I think overall this is going to be great for this engine. Just, I mean, you can't win. Even if it didn't have a problem. Even if it was idling well, this thing could use a throttle body rebuild, you know? Alright, there you have it. That's interesting, that gasket, because I guess up through the center of it, it's like, what else? What is it actually sealing? This is the front one. Maybe it's that. Okay, there's that. And then, shoot guys, if we wanted to, we could take the oh, excuse me. I had to sneeze and I just had to stick with it. That's the rear middle. Okay. So what I'm looking at is these. There's a little ring here that you have to flick out of there, and I can't quite recall how to do that. So, yeah, that might be. I'll look at the parts. That's it for now, guys. I'm going to end the video. This was the disassembly of our 1984 Crossfire throttle bodies. Let me lift the camera up and show you guys here. So, here we go. Fighting through all these notifications here. Okay, there it is. There's the front one, the rear one, the front accumulator, the rear regulator, and here's our parts kit. So looks like we got everything we need to rebuild. I'm gonna go ahead and probably study this just a teeny bit, and then we will come back with a second video for the reassembly. I'm gonna go ahead and probably clean everything off camera. So. Let's go ahead and end the video out here, guys. It's a wonderful evening here in Alaska. That. And I did some work to that lawnmower right there. I could have made a lawnmower video. But anyways, guys, hope all is well. Memorial Day weekend. Remember the fallen. All of the America's wars. And if you're not from America, whatever country that you hail from, study the history and study what people did for your freedom. God bless.